Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. This French song by the rapper Orelsan is called "The Earth is Round." Well, he's not wrong. We've known for a long time that our planet is more or less spherical in shape, and yet, some doubt it. I will bring you some of the evidences that the Earth is indeed round. Evidences based on proper observations that you can also make yourself. Come on, it's spinning.
Au fond, je sais que la Terre est ronde.
First, let's get back in time. The idea that the Earth is round is not new. The Greek mathematician Pythagoras, the one from the theorem, already supposed it 5 centuries before Christ, without being able to prove it, though. 2 other Greeks, Aristotle and then Eratosthenes, finally managed to demonstrate it more than 3 centuries before our era. To prove it, Eratosthenes had the idea to plant 2 sticks at very distant places, one in Alexandria, further north than the other in Sienne. Then he measured their shadows at the same time. If the Earth had been flat, these shadows would have been exactly the same. However, that was not the case. The shadow in Alexandria was longer. This phenomenon can only be explained by the roundness of the Earth. And yet, despite these proofs, some people remain convinced that the Earth is flat and that they're being lied to. Well, in 2020, someone called Mike Hughes incidentally lost his life trying to prove it. He perished at the controls of a rocket he had built in his garage. He wanted to take pictures of the Earth from 1,500 feet altitude to demonstrate that it was perfectly flat. Fortunately, most flat earthers, as they are referred to as, are more down to earth. Some argue that if the Earth were round, the inhabitants of the southern hemisphere would be upside down and would fall into the void. Honestly, it doesn't hold up. It doesn't matter where we live on this planet, whether in northern or southern hemisphere. Both of our feet stay firmly planted on the ground. This is thanks to a fundamental force, that is gravity. This force pulls all objects towards the center of the Earth, including us. If the Earth were flat, gravity would not produce the same effects on objects at all. All right, let's delve into a bit of science fiction. Let's imagine that our planet is shaped in the form of a disc, exactly like this old vinyl record, above which I'm going to place a plumb line. If the Earth were flat, the center of gravity would be situated at the center of the disc, here, and the plumb would be attracted in this direction. Except that depending on where you are on the disc, the string would be more or less inclined, with the exception, of course, directly above the center of the disc. Can you imagine what it would be like for us humans? We would live leaning, and it would become more and more apparent as we move away from the center. This same phenomenon would also occur with all trees and monuments, and this is obviously not the case since the Earth is a sphere. We are always at the same distance from its center, and the force of gravity always acts in the same way, perpendicular to the ground. This is what allows us to stand upright and causes an object to always fall vertically, like our famous plumb line. I should tell you that this phenomenon was brought to light by the physicist Isaac Newton back in the 17th century. According to the legend, he had the revelation while observing an apple falling from a tree. This one is quite round, too. The second observation that proves the roundness of the Earth is much older. It's attributed to Greek philosopher Aristotle, who was the first to realize it 3.5 centuries before Christ. To achieve this, he carefully observed the sky during a lunar eclipse. This particular phenomenon occurs when the Earth is positioned exactly between the sun and the moon. And what did Aristotle notice? Well, he observed that the Earth's shadow covers the lunar surface, and most importantly, that this shadow is rounded. This arc, according to him, is proof that the Earth has a spherical shape and not a flat one. If the Earth were flat, this is what it would look like. Trust me, no one has ever seen that. Another observation which is easy to make: when you walk by the sea and watch the boats moving away from the coast, the further a ship sails towards the open sea, the smaller it appears until it eventually disappears completely. It's not a matter of visual acuity. Even with the most powerful telescope in the world, there comes a moment when the ship eventually disappears. Because of the spherical shape of the Earth, at sea level, the horizon is 5 kilometers away. For an average-sized man, the curvature of our planet prevents us from seeing beyond that. Here, next time you take a walk by the sea, just take the time to observe what's happening when the ship crosses the horizon line. It's always the front of the ship that disappears first, as if it were diving forward. If the Earth were flat, with a telescope, one could possibly follow it infinitely longer. Now I'm going to use this lamp here to represent the sun. Let's turn it on. See, if the Earth were flat, like this map, the whole planet would be illuminated at the same time. Of course, we can't deny that the sun would be more or less high depending on which location you are at. But as soon as the sun crossed the horizon line, it would be daylight everywhere at the same time. Day, night, day, night, day, night. And if the Earth were flat, the sun would rise at the same time for everyone. And logically, it would also set at the same time for everyone. However, as you know, that's not what happens. When it's 9 in the morning in Paris, for example, and it's daylight, in New York, it's only 4 in the morning and it's still dark. Conversely, a few hours later, while it's 6 in the evening in New York and it's still daylight, it's already 11 in the evening in Paris and it's dark. It's a proof that the Earth rotates on its axis, making a full turn in 24 hours. And it is round. For the ones who still have doubts, I now invite you to look up at the sky. When it's night, using a telescope and pointing towards Mars or Saturn, and then what do you see? 2 round planets like all known planets in the universe. I bet some people will say that these are disks and not spheres. Well, by continuing the observation, you notice that details move across the surface. They appear on one side and disappear on the other. It's a clear proof that these planets are spherical. So, if our neighboring planets are spherical, why then would Earth be flat? Come on, let's finish with a flourish. The ultimate proof of Earth's roundness was provided by the Apollo 17 mission. In 1972, this is the very first photo of the entire Earth, captured from outer space. The Americans nicknamed it Blue Marble, as you can see. So there's no doubt that the Earth is indeed round.